All right, good afternoon. It's August 31st, 2012. This is Thomas Keegan with libertarianprogressive.com, where you'll find interviews of candidates you might not hear from in the mainstream media. Yeah.
Is there anything in the Constitution or otherwise that says there has to be a Democratic and Republican Party?
There isn't, but you know what? They act like it because they prevent people from, or they try to prevent people from being on debates. They try to make laws making it more difficult for people getting on the ballots and to compete. And
I'd like to see them do away with these parties. I think they've been partying long enough, and we need to start sobering up and getting real and getting back to work and start helping our neighbors and bring the whole issue of peace and love back on the table.
Yeah, we don't have to. I mean, we can quit any time that we want, and believe me, there's not going to be any withdrawal whatsoever. In fact, you're probably going to feel better than you ever have in your entire life. And
we might wake up and not have a country. We'll probably be taken over by the Chinese or someone without them firing a shot, and we'll be Chinese.
Yeah, we'll be taken over by, like, within, I mean, it's not by any armed forces or anything, but by our economics, probably, yeah. It doesn't have to be that way. It's not like
It doesn't have to be that way.
We don't need an overhaul. I mean, we have the infrastructure there. We have the resources there. We have the foundation already there. So, yeah.
So that makes it even more critical that we're so close, but yet so far. I mean, we could turn things around if people stand up and do the right thing and become educated on really what's going on. But sometimes you got to read between the lines or dig a little deeper than what first appears on Google, because that's generally from the major media, and they're just trying to brainwash you with the status quo.
Yeah, I heard your song on your website, by the way, yeah, it's really cool. And so people want to hear that. It's worth listening to. So definitely Patrick, or actually it's just Pat Riley for Congress.com, and right there's your campaign song, which you made yourself, right?
Yeah, I wrote it with a buddy, Donnie Bartholomew.
So that's what we can do is like occupy Congress, the legitimate way. Just surround it and give it a blast of fresh air, and with our voices. Did you know that one of the people that you're running against, who is a Republican, she voted for the NDAA. Her last name's Diane Black. I just looked up the NDAA voting record. Now, the NDAA itself, the National Defense Authorization Act, it's passed each year. By itself, it's just a spending bill. But as we all know in Congress, they attach like different things to it. And so one of the things they attached was to recognize this Congress, which Diane Black voted for, to give President Obama and any other presidents after him the rights to indefinitely detain American citizens, to break the Posse Comitatus Act, which has been around since the Civil War, where the military can police the streets, and also, not only be indefinitely detained, I mean indefinitely, without any reason or knowing that, evidence against them, no way to see a lawyer. I mean, just basically just plucked up. Just kind of like an alien abduction, basically, and never heard from possibly again. And who knows what would be done to them.
Like somebody like you.
Yeah, we allowed, we put in the laws to allow that. It would be better for us to stop these unnecessary wars. Fight them if you have to. Like Theodore Roosevelt said, speak softly but carry a big stick. I mean, we could have, hundreds of Ron Pauls. I mean, when you think about the early foundation, I mean, you think about people like George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Frederick Douglass. We have a lot of people like that nowadays. I mean, we probably have more per capita of people running. I mean, if you go to the Libertarian Party website, if you go to the Green Party websites, I mean, there's tons of candidates running nowadays. I mean, there's tons.
And you know what? And you know what? Even of Democrats and Republicans, I believe in my heart those are good people too. and they all have big, beautiful dreams as well, and they really want what's right, but the system is corrupt. The money has corrupted the machinery that cycles everything, that creates our civilization here in America and the world, for that matter, and they're dealing with a dysfunctional system.
Oh, I don't argue that. I don't want to say like
they get sucked into the system, and they get corrupted, and they don't know any better, and they become sheeples instead of peoples, and they just follow like a herd, and they play the game. And they think it's like a football team or something. It's one side against the other, the Democrats against the Republicans, and they just constantly keep lining up at the line of scrimmage and keep plowing into each other, and they're not getting anywhere.
You're an hour away from Nashville. I mean, I'm sure there's, that's a happening town. I'm sure there's people there that, want to support you and really want to get behind your campaign. I mean, because, we're lucky to have people like you right now, and all the other people on the ballots that are giving us this choice. We didn't have the type of politicians we do now that are like plastic Ken doll types that just are tape recorders, and are definitely puppets.
Totally, they are. This is like a boat. We're like the Titanic, and we're sinking. We're literally sinking. This country is on such thin ice, if you will, that it really is scary, and people know that. That's why gun sales have gone skyrocketing, and all the ammunition sales have gone way up. And people are nervous, and people, it's just very trying at times with a lot of people that are out of work, and they're stressing big time. They got health issues. They're worried about the future. They're worried about their mom and dad or their kids, and people need to share this information on their Facebook. Hopefully, if they care about America and they care about peace and love and family and the American dream, and let this word be known that there are options out there, and there are people that are fighting for a better way, and you're one of them, and I'm one of them, and our listeners might be on the team too with us, and working for a better way. And I appreciate all those people out there that are listening that are doing the hard work, and they're out on the front lines working for a better political system and a better country, better world.
It is going in that direction. There are people getting more involved. Hence the Tea Party, hence the Occupy Wall Street. The fruits of those types of things, those political actions, we have more nonprofit organizations. We have everything from like the ACLU and there's Judicial Watch and there's tons of different groups like that. Epic. We have a good foundation. It's like we don't need an overhaul. We have the system there. There are a lot of good people in government. There are a lot of good people not in government. There's a lot of good people here. We usually are a little slow to react because we're judicious and we're prudent. But at this point, now's the time to act. When there's
now is the time. How many more $1 trillion do we need to be in debt?
Well, in closing here, Pat, it was a pleasure. I think, people have a choice to choose someone who believes in the principles of the Constitution, who believes in our Constitution, who I think, you'll take your oath seriously. Is that...
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going like I'm going to war. Yeah. I'm going there voluntarily.
They take their oaths, too.
I haven't been in the military, and this is basically like going in the military for me because I'm going to fight.
Yeah, this
I'm not going there. I'm not going there to sit there.
Right.
I'm not going to sit and go to cocktail parties and hang out and act like, wow, this is a big step up for me. This is not a step up for me. I'm living the life, O'Reilly, right now. I'm living the dream, but I want to give back and I want to help make this world a better place. So I'm going in there to frickin' to make a splash, and I'm going to shine the spotlight on the corruption. And I'm going to cut all the big spending, like Gary Johnson. Is that his name, from New Mexico?
Yeah, Gary Johnson.
Yeah, like he said, he voted no on like 1,000 different bills that came across his desk.
Yes.
And everything was fine. And nothing went south. The economy didn't crash there. and everything was fine. And that's
He
the
was
way I'm going
elected
to.
as a two-term governor, and he stepped down because he believed in term limits. He probably could have been elected again. I think that's the way the story went. But he was reelected twice in a row in an overly
Well, I don't want to
Democratic state, and he was a Republican, and now he's a Libertarian presidential candidate.
Yeah, it's awesome. Totally awesome. I wish him well, and I thank him for his service. Of course, Ron Paul. But I'm not into this for getting rich. I'm not into it because I'm looking for, power or prestige or, I'd be lying to say I want people to hear my music, and maybe someday this will help me help people connect with my music. But it goes way beyond that. I'm doing this for peace, world peace. I'm doing this for love, so people, for the future of America and the future of the planet, that we have a better chance at succeeding and everybody being healthy and happy, and so people can dance and sing and write music and poetry and eat healthy food and just be
like
in
a
awe
renaissance again.
like a total renaissance. Just sit there and chill and like Bob Dylan, chilling like Bob Dylan, man. Just relaxing and enjoying nature and the flowers and the ocean and just all the bounty that we have here on Earth. It's just like heaven on earth as far as I can see.
Yes.
Except for all the corruption, and we just have to go after that, and that's what I plan to do. If you're about wanting peace in the world, I'm on your team. If you're about loving your family and your friends and your animals and nature, I'm on your team. And if you're about getting the spending in our government under control, I'm on your team. If you're about freedom of religion and you practicing your religion or me, how we see fit, I'm on your team. I'm a fan of yours. Go ahead and do what you want. If you want to start a business, I'm on your team. What more is there to really talk about? Immigration, we could talk about all these things, but I'm on the team. I'm just shooting for the bullseye, the top rung on the ladder. I'm not sitting here just going for the middle or the status quo like where everybody else is at. I'm going for the top.
Yeah, and this is what and people can help propel you there, and then they're actually propelling themselves there because
absolutely, a vote for me is a vote for them.
That's right, and keeping you out of the debates is keeping them out of the debates, and people need to press the newspapers and the media to interview you. I don't know if there's any community radio stations there. I mean, people belong to Ron Paul meetup groups, need to have some town halls, have some speeches, record that, put that on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's anybody listening that's connected to the Ron Paul group or contingency here in Nashville, by all means, definitely go to my page, PatRileyForCongress.com, and my Facebook and all of that, and connect with me. And if you have connections to other people that do interviews, festivals, any kind of major news outlets or whatever, radio stations, I'm there. I'll go. And thanks to you, you boosted my confidence.
Well, and this is a bipartisan people are talking about. I mean, it's like people are saying we need more bipartisanship, but not the kind we get from Republicans and Democrats. That kind, we get Medicare prescription bill acts where they can't negotiate the prices, where we get, it seems like, record-long wars, contracts, bailouts, trampling on our civil liberties. But the true bipartisanship is a Green Party candidate who is running on Ron Paul's record. Now, that's the type of bipartisanship that we need a little bit more of. Again, this is Thomas Keegan with the LibertarianProgressive.com. Pat, I'll say goodbye to you right after the interview. It's been great talking with you, and I hope to see you. I hope to see that you're in the Congress on November 7th. That would be excellent.
That would be excellent.
All right, sir. Thanks very much.
Thank you.